So this one could be a little bit hard for you guys, but can you, from the top of your head, bring up from memories one of the largest projects that used NX and how NX especially benefited that project? Like how faster it got to build it, or any other things that NX made it easier for that bigger project?
We've worked with a lot of big ones. We're not allowed to talk about most of them on nx.dev. Like we have some of the logos of people who are using NX, maybe or maybe not customers of ours, but um, we've worked with some pretty large, a lot of Angular repos, a lot of React repos, with hundreds of developers in them and hundreds of projects in them. And I think so there's a lot of things that go into it. So like the constraints that you can enforce across module boundaries, and like the generating, the migrations, all those things make a big difference on ergonomics. But what's really kind of shocking in a good way is how much time can be saved in CI and how much compute time is being saved for some of these teams using NX and NX Cloud, like to the order of tens of thousands of hours a month of compute time being saved, and time in CI that's like, sometimes we get CI down 90% from where they start from, with just adding cloud and doing a few optimizations, maybe organizing things a little bit differently. I think that's where it's a lot easier to quantify and see the impact, versus the other things that are more like dev ergonomics that the developers can really appreciate. But yeah, I think that's the thing that gets a lot of people excited, just seeing how much more efficiency is gained by just organizing your project in a intelligent way, and using affected, using cache, using distributed task execution.
Yeah, to piggyback on what Jeff was saying, plus one to everything Jeff said in terms of like performance, computation, uh, like save. I want to point out a couple of points in terms of like DXGAN for big organizations. One is the workspace generator, or now we are like steering folks towards more local plugins. So you have like a full flow plugin, internal, not published anywhere, um, instead of just workspace generator. And imagine you have like a new team or new developers coming in into the project or the monorepo, and want to create like a new feature, a new route. Um, if your team has a workspace generator or an internal generator for that feature, you can just have like an X generate your organization slash generator or libraries generator, and it would do everything that you want to do in terms of generate the library itself, put that library path into a code owner file, set up translation file, set up like SonarQube for um, code governance, and so all of that stuff you can have with a single workspace generator. So the composability that NX generators provide is godsend to big teams. And on top of that, an added benefit to that whole like DXGAN is onboarding new developers. If you have like clear documentation on what the generators that you have and what they do, the transparency that new developers can have is really, really highly appreciated in turn from that developer's perspective. Second thing is feedback loop. Um, in one of the recent projects, we migrate a couple of monorepos into a single monorepo, and one of them is a design system. Before, when they were separate monorepos, a single change or a single change request from the customer side takes like 2 to 3 weeks for the design system team to propagate the fix all the way down, all the way back to production. Now, when they are inside of the single monorepo, the client code, the web code actually runs against the actual source code of the design system. So the feedback loop is like instant. And the design system teams, the end-to-end test suite actually runs tests against the real production web app. So it's like a win-win situation.
Very nice.